G'day fellow creatures of the internet. Must see and subscribe to going here on YouTube and the alleged online ambassador of Black Marsh, Bruzo Dragonius, right here in Blackwood, or the extension of, because of the ESL extension to the Blackwood chapter, which is where I am, just over here. Is out now on PC, PS4 and Xbox. Now, the reason why I'm out here is not only to show you what you can do in this chapter, but at the same time, I'm going to go out to investigate the wrongdoings and all the foul play, pretty much to all the Maroon Dagon's cultists and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, I'm just going to explore this a bit, even though that I haven't done it in a bit, but at the end I will probably have done. So I'm going to show you around what you can do while I'll show you some of my experiences. So anyway, please just roll the intro and we'll just get on with this review. Now that the basic plot as to why I set foot into the region of Blackwood is sort of explained in the intro of the video, which was recorded before I finished this DLC, I'm going to explain my experiences and encounters while I was in Blackwood. So, for that reason, I must issue a spoiler warning to those that are interested in playing it but haven't. Now to start off with the fascinating yet unique geography of this new region in the first half of the Gates of Oblivion chapter, as it has a bit of Cyrodiil up in the north mixed with the homelands of the anthropomorphic animal races, which is the Khajiit, that are elsewhere in the west, and my ancestral land of Blackmarsh in the east. But for some reason, it only has similar architecture that you find in Cyrodiil, with bits of the Argonian mud huts and the swamplands of Blackmarsh. So, it's a mixture of the two opposing worlds collide, even if it weren't for the Daedric activity from the various monsters themselves, as well as the Maroon Dagon cultists. If you played Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, this DLC chapter will guarantee you some feeling of nostalgia like what the rest of Cyrodiil and Imperial City does, but not like I played that game, but based on what I read on the internet. The main questline starts by sending me to a capital city I deem as an amazing little port town of Blackwood, which also doubles as a gateway port of Cyrodiil. I journey there to meet the very governing body of Blackwood to help with some sort of murder investigation, where the victims are some of the very councillors that were assassinated by something or some group. I later realised that they are posing as a Dark Brotherhood. I'll talk more about it later. But because I entered Blackwood from elsewhere in the west, I decided to make a stopover at a fort of Border Watch, where some sort of terrorist attack has happened, as there is some group that call themselves the Painted Eye attacked and occupied that fort, and it was up to me to help the other brigade to resolve this incident. So I had a role similar to a counter-terrorist cop, and they had hostages I ended up rescuing, including the dynamic duo from the Thieves Guild, which consists of a fellow member of my Saxtial brothering named Six the Dark and his or sidekick, or pupil if that is a cute wood elf named Ethereal. I feel I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, so I best call it by her alter ego, which is Lady Twilight. And her story is that she wanted to be the legend of the Thieves Guild by stealing some of the artifact that was in the fort, risking her own life as well as her Argonian mentor's life during that siege. Chaos. Sometimes we Argonians are wise, but sometimes we just need to talk some sense into some dry skins, especially to the likes of her. But after that, I continue south to Blackwood just to be briefed on why I was sent to Blackwood. something as part of my investigation of the mysterious attacks by Daedra and their cultists. And from there, I feel like I was channeling my inner Hiroshio Kane, Sherlock Holmes, or Batman, or whatever, slipping in the role of reptilian detective or crime fighter. I was going to run errands to warn some of the councillors of an apocalyptic event planned by Mehrunes Dagon himself, but it turned into a murder investigation, as by the time I get to some of these people, they ended up dead. And by the calling cards, it was supposed to be by the Dark Brotherhood because of the handprint of the paper. They usually leave on the body to the person they are contracted to kill, indicating the job is done. I knew of such calling card, as I know what the Dark Brotherhood are like. Admittingly and shamefully, to admit as a hero I am, I once had the experience in temp jobbing personally at Shadow Scale, because I want to learn all about the Argonian culture, even to its darkest. Not to mention that I had been to the Gold Coast for that job. Just that I failed to make a review video of the previous Dark Brotherhood DLC. I didn't bother making a video on that, nor will in the future. Apparently, no one aimed a black sacrament ritual to these people, and apparently, as we thought, a member of the Dark Brotherhood killed these people. It's just the Walking Flame did all this crime, masquerading as the Dark Brotherhood. And I know that as I interrogated an assassin of the group and admitted with proof of not being involved. It turned out he was wrongfully convicted, and instead of inside job. Apparently, it turned out that the main perp was Councillor Vendacia, as he himself was involved as the ringleader and Mehrunes Dagon's right-hand man. It was really despicable for what he did, including killing one of the ambitions in front of me as an excuse of sacrifice for Dagon. Speaking of which, I know who the ambitions are, and they are just people with actual gifts or curses, and I don't know of their purposes except for involving with this Daedric prince. And they are supposed to be 4 of them, but I found 3 of them and yet meet 1 in the up-and-coming Deadlands chapter, possibly. Speaking of the Deadlands, there are Daedric Portals that take you to Mehrunes Dagon's plane of Oblivion. That are the new in-game events that appear throughout the region, and they are Daedra. That usually goes out of them, and automatically, as per usual, they are very hostile to you. So, prepare to have a fight and be outnumbered unless you have a companion or other player with you at least to even the sides as close as possible. But I find them as piss weak compared to me only because I'm at a higher level. But once you get through one of these portals, you will be that overly outnumbered that it would be a total group effort from the other players to get through them, just as the Harrowstorms in the Greymore chapter. But these portals are hidden within your map. So, expect them to be a random occurrence. And not only that, but they are known to change locations like the Dragons of Elsewhere. But at least you can pinpoint the dragons on your map while you are in Elsewhere normally. Another new feature of this DLC brought into ESO are the newest ally types that travel with you that are, as I mentioned, the companions. And what makes them stand out to other allies in comparison is that they can be very hostile to your enemies. As I heard from other gaming content creators that also review this chapter, is that your companions don't rely, nor even meant to be made as a replacement for other players you are teaming up with, even in group dungeons. So I think I may need to still recruit some players to team up with me, especially on the Walking Flame Dungeon DLC, which is the next one to be released. So far, as I wrote this script, there are 2 of these guys to choose from only. These guys are both dry skins or non-Argonian folk. Each has their individual combat styles, as well as their likes and dislikes, and you can earn these as your companions as collectibles once you completed certain side quests. The options at the moment only include Bastian Halix, a human male that is of Breton race, who I first met near a mine called Deepscorn Hollow, along Topper Bay, south of Fort Blueblood. And the other is a female dark elf who I met at an alien ruin northeast of Fort Redmayne called Volpines. Sorry if I butchered that place's name, and her name is Mary Ellanders. Yet again, sorry if I butchered these names. You're welcome to correct me with the pronunciation in the comment section down below. I'm not going to go in detail about these companions, as this is going to make the video longer than it should. But I will need to mention that you can customize their skills, give them equipment that are of course armor and weapons, but only certain companion items you find and purchase, as well as assigning them their mounts and dress them up in different costumes in your collection. There are very interesting side quests I did, and more things I learnt about the extensive culture of my people that are the Argonians, including the fact I helped, assisted in inspiring Nisro, or Argonian priest, perform a funeral type ritual on a dead Argonian. It brought me goosebumps on my scales, to be honest. I encountered a tribe of some hideous evil Daedra worshipping Argonians, and I encountered some very interesting characters, including a team of Argonian warriors that I can really say that they are knockoff the Ninja Turtles, as well as they have not heard of such characters in Nirn called the Four Winds, as well as an interesting fan of mine who is a Wood Elf who haven't really known me through my work as a content creator back in Earth, but as a hero or champion knight that protects Nirn. But he seems so obsessed with me to a point he literally puts himself in danger so I can save his life, and he even attempts at suicide even to get the attention of me to rescue him. Like, really? Has he not heard of me having a YouTube channel, actually back in Earth, you can subscribe to, or the fact that I have a TikTok and other social media that you can follow me in the description below? Looks like that luxury doesn't exist in Planet Nirn, but really, I would be flattered in a bad way if any of my fans and supporters kill themselves over me. Literally. I love you all, and because of that, please don't kill yourselves for my attention. But Hist, that guy made me feel like Deathclock. No need to worship me like a god. Really. But all in all, for the amazing landscape of Blackwood, to the interesting and entertaining quests, as well as new features, I give it based on my experience in Blackwood a 9 out of and 3/4 of jars of Hissat out of 10. So, let's get back to the Bruzo after I finish my campaign in Blackwood. As you all know, that I'm right at the end, or what could be, where the next DLC and where the fourth ambition is. Past these gates beyond me. Speaking of which, I had found 3 ambitions, or perhaps me and a whole group of other people have found 3 ambitions, like, you know, with Everly and the Dremora as well, 11th or something like that. Even though that we did have to ended up getting 3 of the ambitions in some sort of Divine's Temple, just for their protection, but however, one of them ended up being sacrificed to Mayron's Dagon, thanks to the very Councillor of Lyowen that did betray us, Councillor Vandacia. At least that punished him by ending his life. As a matter of fact, he deserved it. But, however, there's yet to be the 4th ambition to be found, as well as stopping Mayron's Dagon to merge the Deadlands into Planet Nirn and saving Planet Nirn from Mayron's Dagon. So anyway, that concludes the review of the Blackwood chapter. As is usual, there's about 2 more DLC expansions. I'm pretty much looking forward to finding the 4th ambition, but we've got like another dungeon DLC coming up most likely. So anyway, if you do enjoy this review, make sure you show me by pressing the thumbs up button. Also, to those that like my content so far, and if you haven't, please Like, if you haven't subscribed to me, please consider supporting me by subscribing to this channel. You do that by slapping the subscribe button, and to be the first one to know is that you tap on the bell icon, which is right next to it, so you can be one of the first people to know. The usual social medias and ways to give me money and give me support is on the description below. If you want to follow me on PSN, my gamer tag is Bruzo21. I would end up being around this area or something like that, or just as a way to look out for me. As always, thank you so much for watching this to the end. I hope you do enjoy it. I appreciate if you did watch it. It would mean a lot to me if you do. Especially to those that subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. You're all amazing. I love you all. I really appreciate this in the bottom of my own heart. I really do appreciate this. And I'm just going to end this review by saying the usual. May the Hiss guide you all. Bye for now.